It's not not topmost softwares recommended in industry validation. Okay, yeah, that will help. Okay, so I just save the slide. Yeah, guys. So let's talk today about 3D softwares. There are many softwares in the industry, okay? Because guys, it's what matters the most is about why we are learning Maya. Okay, why not other softwares? And so I want to establish myself. I want to become a proper 3D artist. I want to become a 3D generalist. When I say 3D generalist, GENERALIST. Hope you guys are taking notes. So when you say 3D generalist, it means you want to become a 3D artist who can do 3D modeling, who can do texturing, who can do rigging, not animation. Yeah, animation also. So 3D generalist is a type of job where you will be recruited to do 3 to 4 multiple things of 3D task. Okay. So before you go inside Maya, you have to know what the industry is about and what are the topmost softwares that people are using. For example, you might be in my modeling class, but you might be listening to other faculties lighting class, or you might be in other faculties rigging class or animation class. Okay, so not so you need to know what's happening. You need to know which software is best for you, which software is industry needed, which software a particular industry is working on that you should know, and why the topmost industries prefer this software. Okay, see, you guys know Photoshop, right? You guys know Illustrator, Corel Draw, Corel Paint, and there are many other 2D softwares. Okay, so it is up to you guys to choose which one you would like to go with. And you know what? When it comes to 2D, Adobe is the topmost player when it comes to 2D, but they charge too much, man. They really charge too much. If you have to go for Adobe license, if you own a company, and if you have to go for Adobe license, you have to pay a lot of money. So that is the reason people are migrating from Adobe for some other package. If you know there is another 2D raster image editing software called Affinity Designer. It is much cheaper than Adobe packages. That's also a good software which is much cheaper than Photoshop. Okay, and really there are many other softwares and also open source softwares. Open source in the sense you don't need to pay money for them. So they are free softwares. You can download, you can install it in any number of your systems, and you can use it. Okay, um, because imagine that I'm going to open a 3D modeling company, and where I'm going to hire all of you people as 3D artists. Then imagine, then I need to buy 60 computers. Then for 64 computers, I have to spend around 64 lakhs. Okay, it's almost, yeah. Then again, I have to buy license. And Adobe now has license. You guys know how much Adobe costs and what's the license plan they have? Because at the end of the day, everything comes to a point where money matters. Okay, so if I have to pay too much of money for my artist, then the salary is there. Then for the software, Adobe charges around like per year you have to pay around 4 to 5 lakhs you have to pay per year. I mean the entire Adobe package like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Adobe XD, Audition, After Effects, Premiere, all together you have to pay 4 to 5 lakhs. Okay, 18,000 plus GST for students. Okay, 18,000 plus GST for students they are charging. If it is for commercial purposes, they will charge extra. Okay, so this is the reason why people are going for some other softwares. They're always looking for other softwares rather than Adobe. So see, it is always about how much you could reduce your expenses and you can earn more. That's what makes things most. Okay, so always people like to go for it. So there are many criteria that you should consider before learning any 3D softwares. Why I'm learning this? Why not that? Okay, if I find one problem, then what can I do with? See, not for every time. For example, you want to take a screenshot. Do you use Photoshop all the time? No. we use Snip and Snip, or we use MS Paint or something. And do you want to reduce the file size? Then to use Photoshop all the time? Might be, or you can use an image editor to reduce the file size. That's too easy. And when you want to trim the video, a small video, you want to just trim it or crop it. Do you open Premiere all the time? No, not all the time. We use some small softwares and we get it done. So it is because we should know first what are the softwares available and which one is convenient for my purpose. Okay, unless you cannot decide which one is good for you. So when it comes to 3D, there are many sections starting from layout. Guys, just note that down. Number one is layout. You guys know storyboard, right? So out of the 2D storyboard, out of the 2D characters, we replace the 2D character with 3D characters and we just move the camera. We call it as a 3D layout. Okay, that is number one. That is the first part of pipeline. Then the second part of pipeline will be modeling and texturing. So I'll just switch my screen to another window. I'm sorry, now I'll just switch you. Pipeline of 3D animation industry. So there will be layout. The layout will be followed by modeling. The modeling will be followed by texturing. Then UV mapping. Then you'll be having rigging. Then animation. Then lighting. Then render passes, then compositing, and after animation you'll be having dynamics or effects, and you can use some scripts. Maya has a script called Maya Embedded Language, or Python, because Python is open source and wide variety of people are using Python. So these are the pipeline of Maya. So you have to model, then you have to texture, then you have to UV map, rig, animate, effects, dynamics, some scripting, lighting, render pass, and compositing. And if you really ask me, sir, does this Maya is the one stop for all these things, sir? I would say 80%, 60 to 70% yes, you can do all these things in Maya. This would really help you. Okay, 60 to 70%. The rest of the percentage, no, not for each and every usages, not for all circumstances. So you need to know why we are not using only Maya for all these things. Why we are not only using one software. In the initial days, there were. For example, in the initial days, there were discrete 3ds Max. Okay, it was discrete 3ds Max. Then after that, Autodesk bought it. Then it became Autodesk 3ds Max. Then there was another company called, I like that, Alias Maya. Then Autodesk bought that. Because if you can't win your competitors, then you can buy them, right? That's what Autodesk has been doing so far. It bought 3ds Max from Discrete. Guys, Autodesk is a company where Maya is attributed to. It was Autodesk, then Autodesk bought it, then it became Autodesk 3ds Max, then it became Autodesk Maya. So during back in those times, these two softwares really laid the industry. Okay, there were no other softwares. Even now they are in good shape, but now there are too much competition. There are many softwares there. There are some softwares which are better than that also. Okay, now I'll tell you to which software we go with and why, under what conditions we can go with. Okay, there were many other softwares from Autodesk. Okay, called not only Revit, Autodesk have CivilCAD, and also Autodesk have Luster, Smoke, Inferno, Combustion, Toxic. There are many softwares that Autodesk have, but for the entertainment purposes, for 3D software, for our entertainment purposes, we use. Okay, and Revit, I'll tell you what Revit is famous for. Okay. Yeah, anyway, thanks for bringing it up, guys. If you have any questions or any doubts, even if I'm wrong, you have all the rights to correct me at any point of time. Okay, great. So the first one, yeah, it's the Blender software. Guys, Blender is open source software. It is an open source, which means it is free for you to use. You can download and you can make your own production. They won't charge you anything. The entire software you can download and you can use. They're not like Maya. And what are the tools that Maya has? Nearly 60 to 70% of all the tools are also in Blender, since it is open source. When I say open source, which means the source code of how a software has been designed. See, basically all the softwares are designed through programming. Like I said, all the softwares are programmed through C++. So why they prefer C++, sir? Because C++ is a big graphics library. All the graphics libraries are developed and created using the programming languages C++. Okay, that's why the famous PUBG game is also created using Unreal Game Engine and with C++ programming. Hope you guys have played PUBG, right? Yeah, that PUBG is developed using C++. So that's what I mentioned. Whenever there is a software released, this Autodesk Maya, they won't share their source code with you. How is the layout of that interface? If you want to change the layout of the interface, if you want to change any tools, any software, any option, you can't change it because the source code or with source code means the programs, the programs through which they created. Those programs are with Autodesk. They are safe. They don't give it just like that. So they are not open source. Their source is not open for all, which means it is not free. Whereas Blender, the source code is free. That's why they call it as open source. When I say open source, which means it's free, you have all the privileges to download or edit or modify anything in the software. I will teach you a few Maya scripts, don't worry. Okay, I'll always cover something which is not in your syllabus. So that way it works perfect. If you guys, do you guys want me to go as per syllabus? Because seriously, man, I don't know what is in your syllabus. Okay, I don't want to see that. I think last week was not framed by me, so I don't want to check that. Great. Yeah, that's what. So Blender is an open source software. So you can download, you can modify anything, and there is a huge list of community there. When I say community, there are people in online. They'll be helping you whenever you stuck somewhere. Whenever you got some error or something, that online community, the pool of people will help you through their experience. So that's really a good point, because whenever we stuck somewhere, when we need someone to lend us a hand, that's really a good one. Okay, so Blender is really good one. Of course, you can model, render, everything is good, but preferably this point you guys have to note down. Blender is mostly is for polygon modeling, because people prefer Blender for polygon modeling. And Maya also, we discuss about polygon modeling, subdivision, and splines, but polygon modeling is the modeling. When someone say, do you know modeling? When someone asks, do you know modeling, which means, do you know polygon modeling? That's the question they're asking you. Polygon means what I mentioned in the last class. Polygon means what? It's a mesh or a face. That's what I told you. So there will be vertex. When you connect the vertex, you get edges. Then when you connect the edges, you get a polygon or a face. So that's why, guys, Blender is there. So if you guys like, if you really want to open your own studio production where you want to have everything free, then Blender is the best choice. And guys, license is really a big matter these days, because when the moment when you connect your laptop to a computer, I mean to internet, laptop to internet, then the first thing that all the companies will verify, what is your age. They verify, and where you are, they'll verify, and they'll get the reports. If you think that you are fooling them, no, you are not fooling them. They are just leaving you. Okay, he or she is a student of this particular university, so they're using pirated. Okay, fine, let them be. But once you become a professional, you're dead. You can't have pirated software. Okay, there are things that we can do. It's not something like impossible. Of course, we can do pirated things, but I'm just telling you. So when you run a company, definitely they'll come and close your company. There are several rights that Autodesk does to many of the production studios in Chennai and in Bangalore and in Mumbai and everywhere. And if they find out if any of this licensed softwares are not licensed, they're using pirated, they have all the privileges to take your laptops and desktops along with them. So open source matters the most. That's why I put this Blender in my first slide. Okay, it is free. You can start your production with 500 Blender. You can download. You can install in 500 laptops. You can use. No problem with that. Guys, we have a long way to go, so we have to go. Next one. Maya. I think about Maya, we need to, I can explain many things later. There's nothing new here I'm going to tell. And regarding Maya, I can share my experience with you regarding Maya. You know, Maya is not this. She's not Maya. The software is Maya. Why Maya is so famous? Because I would say it is user experience. Okay. What is user experience, sir? User interface is the buttons you click. The buttons you click is user interface. Okay. But user experience is something different. Let me tell you in simple terms. Hope you guys are taking notes. It's like you're about to come to college now, and there is your bag, and there is a lunch box, and there is your water can, and there is some snacks for you. Everything is placed in front of you. Okay, somewhere. Now you have to go take and put them all. Then you have to pack. Then you have to go come to college. That is user interface. Okay, things are there. You have to just click into it. User experience is this. There will be one bag where all your snacks, water bottle, and lunch bags are put inside, placed in order, and it will be positioned in front of your slippers. Okay, so which one you prefer is best? The second one, right? Because that's what user experience. So user experience is all about making the user feel comfortable with your tools. Okay, just because you have a small buttons or large options, that was not user experience, that's user interface. How much comfort the user becomes by using your interface, that comfort level we call it as experience, how he experienced that. Okay, that's the level of interaction you have to give to your user. That's what user experience. That user experience would be satisfiable if you use Autodesk Maya. I believe it's the method of interaction between user and program. Yes, it is. So that's what it's about UX. So the user experience would be too much. So first, when I was a fan of 2ds Max back in the year 2005, I was using 2ds Max. Then later by 2006, by the end of 2006, I came to know there is a software called Maya. Then I slowly migrated to Maya. I didn't like Maya by the time, because the moment when I hold my space bar, the options are splitted out just like that. It looks like someone spit on the screen, man. I don't like it, I said. But within 1 or 2 days, I forgot almost 3ds Max. That is the kind of experience that alias Maya provided me. Then after it became Autodesk Maya, but still Maya has the same interface. They just changed the color. They just made the Autodesk 2ds Max and Maya to be the same color, but the experience, what they provide, it is still the same when they bought from RS, the same interface. So that's the experience they provide you with Maya, and all the tools are topmost tools. And if you want to learn Maya from modeling to dynamics or script, I'm still learning. That will take you several years. It has 10 lakhs plus options, not just 7 lakhs, it's 10 lakhs plus options. So it's a long way to go, and everything is researched on proper way. So if you want to be expert in any of the 3D field, obviously Maya is the best choice to start with. Okay, so and whereas in the industry, Maya is mostly preferred for character. Anything which comes to rigging, animation, then it is Maya. Okay, of course the industry are using for game development also, but mostly for television animations, for broadcast animations, for TV channels, for Cartoon Network like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Pogo, Disney, Hangama, or any whatever it is. They always prefer Maya if it is a 3D animation, if it is. Okay, and also for movies, for feature films and all, they always prefer Maya, because the rigging and animation pipeline of Maya is awesome. It will be awesome. Okay, modeling also, don't worry about it. I'm just telling you why it is too best. Okay, let's go to the next. Okay. Yeah, now it is 3ds Max. Man, this is also one of the good software. See, I always say things as great, wonder, perfect, superb. Okay, but I always give input as why this is great. Mark that down. That is what important. Don't say that Dinesh has said every software is great. No, I always tell which this software is famous for what. Note that. That's what make your notes proper. If you write down all the softwares are good, that's what Dinesh said. No, that's not what Dinesh is going to say. I will tell you exactly this software is used for what. You have to note that down. That's how your notes has to be. See, when it comes to 3ds Max, 3ds Max is good for architectural visualization. If it is about architectural visualization, no other go, man. You have to go for 3ds Max. They have the right tools for architectural visualization. Of course, I have done many of my project architecture in Maya because I'm comfortable with Maya. But that doesn't mean that Maya is the best choice for architecture. No, 3ds Max is the best choice for architecture, and they have been in this industry of architecture modeling and visualization for nearly 20, 15 years at least. 15 to 20 years they are here though, and their tools are really good for making architectural visualization and texturing. All the tools are there. Okay, but the what's the bad thing in 3ds Max is not good for rigging, not good for character animations. That's what Maya is best. Character rigging, character animation, Maya is best. Okay, whereas when it comes to character rigging and animation, 3ds Max is not best. Okay, of course, user experience is a little different from what Maya has. This is a compass. This compass will be there in Autodesk Maya also and Autodesk 3ds Max also, and also a similar black interface. Both of them will be sharing over that. Yeah. So I hate Autodesk. He bought the software and he changed all the interface to be same. Because Maya was in a different color in the previous time. In the early days, Maya was like a cotton candy. That's the color of the Maya. It was like it'll be like green color there, red color there, blue color there, yellow color there. But the interface, it seems like clumsy now, but it was good back in those times. Okay, so there is 3ds Max. It's good for architecture, and it is also powerful like Maya, but not for character things and all. And since it is powerful for architectural modeling, it is also good for modeling mechanical objects and other objects. Okay, why it is famous for architecture, sir? Because the precision in modeling. Because if you want to model something, if you want, do you know the height of your house entrance? It is 8 feet. It should be 8 feet. That's the height of your house entrance. And what's the height of the windows has to be? It should be 5 to 6 feet. So, or 4 to 5 feet it will be. Okay, and what about the height of your roof? It should be 10 feet. So there are certain standard measurements because it is an engineering architectural plan, right? So this is what engineers do. So this kind of measurement based or precise modeling notation could be achieved detailedly if you stick with 3ds Max, because the tools are in such a way. Like you take a tool, you just click that. I want 0.5 centimeter height, 0.4 centimeter width, 0.3 centimeter depth. Then it will give you that object. Okay, yeah, it is like a CAD application, computer aided design application. So 3ds Max is good for architecture. Yeah, and here comes ZBrush. Not to mention, guys, ZBrush is good for detailed 3D modeling. It is for detailed 3D modeling. If you look here, you could see that it has just a small eye or a small skin. So what is in that? But if you watch closely, it is not visible now. We call it as n-gons or polyfiber, where there will be millions and millions of polygons here. Polygons means face or meshes. There are millions and millions of polygons here. There will be millions of polygons here. You can hear millions. You can hear millions. Okay, so it's like sculpting. You take your mouse, you can click and drag. You will get this concave section, and you can create this depth. Okay, just by click like a brush, like a paintbrush. You can use that. So in order to make this polygon work like a paintbrush, then imagine how much level of polygons that ZBrush can provide you. So if you want to create a character, you can create a with Maya. Maya will not go beyond 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs or 3 to 5 millions you can go. After, if you want to increase the amount of polygon more than 3 million or 5 million, then Maya will become slow. It may hang down or it may shut down. But ZBrush, it won't mind. It just let you add how much number of polygon you want. So that's why the detailing of 3D modeling is done. Look at that. You just detail the 3D model into millions and billions of polygon. Take a brush and do this. Just it. You take a brush, do this. Everything will be done in a second. So you can detail a 3D model so much easy. Look at here, how much detail they added. It's the reason why they prefer this old face is because they can add too much of detail. it's like a sculpting tool. It's like a clay sculpting. You can easily create that. That's why all the 3D characters, all the advanced 3D characters, all the CG characters. When I say CG, it is computer generated. Okay, CG means not computer graphics; it's computer generated. So all these computer generated things can be done easily by using this. Yeah, you may look like, oh God, what is this? Yeah, don't worry, you're not going to dead him. Okay, this is just a way to. This is how the aliens they built, because all the alien characters, all the characters these days are detailed through zebras. Look at that. Look at the nose here. Yeah, this all they detail it using zebras. If you want to achieve this level of detail in Maya, it would take some time. Okay, and also Maya won't support too much of detailing like that. Okay, hope you guys understood what is zebras. Modeling is usually done in other softwares for like Maya. Mostly they do it in Maya or 3ds Max. Then they just do the detailing in zebras. So guys, zebras, they don't, some people directly, if you are really a professional 3D modeler, then you can directly start your modeling with ZBrush. Okay, but if you're on a basic model, then you have to create a base mesh. We call this a base mesh. Guys, I again repeat, whenever I say mesh, MESH, or polygon or face, all of same. Okay, so when you have too many mesh, I mean, when you, I'm sorry, when you want to start something from a low poly, then you can start with Maya, or Maya would be best. Then you can take it to ZBrush. From Maya, you can export to ZBrush. Then in ZBrush, you can do all the detail and finishing and everything. Okay. Then from ZBrush, we just export the map into Maya. So it would give you a feel like even with a low polygon, you can use the ZBrush texture. So in the Maya render, you would see it as if like a detailed 3D modeling. Okay. There are many other softwares also like ZBrush. Of course, ZBrush is not free. The reason why I put Blender first is Blender is open source, whereas the rest of the softwares, whatever we are going to discuss, is not free, because nothing comes free. Okay. Yeah. So next. There are many other modeling software. That's why I took too much of my time in designing the presentation before beginning the class. I'll tell you what are those. This is Modo. Modo is also another software. Yeah, this is Modo, MODO. So Modo is from Foundry, FOUNDRY. Note down as Foundry Modo, FOUNDRY, then Modo. Foundry is what do you say? They're best. Foundry is really best, because why say it's not Modo is best? The makers, the owner of the company, Foundry is best. You know, the entire compositing department, when it comes to visual effects, of a movie, I mean, just a post production for a movie, then there is no other go. You have to go for Nuke, NUK. It's a compositing software. So that compositing software is a product of Foundry. So Foundry has Nuke, Foundry has Katana, Foundry has Nuke, so Foundry has Modo, then Foundry has Hero, and Foundry has, there are several some 6 to 10 packages that Foundry has. They're really good in programming, and their tools are awesome tools. Even the color profiles that Foundry support, those color profiles even Photoshop won't support. So if you ask me who's best, Adobe or Autodesk or Foundry, I would say Foundry is best. Okay, but in terms of 3D, Modo is not good. Foundry is good for VFX, whereas Foundry's Modo software, 3D software, is not good. But I heard that the tools or the options that you used in Foundry Modo are much better than Maya. I heard that, and I haven't worked much in Modo, because I started in the early stage. Then I looked into it, because before I start, I always read the forums. I always look for what is the professionals or the experts review on that. The review was not good, so I didn't. And already I learned many softwares, man. I'll be confused with the interfaces, so I didn't do it. But Modo is also a good for product modeling. Okay, products or design like us. Okay, then the next one, Fusion. Yeah, guys, because modeling is see, if you really do a proper, perfect modeling, a crystal clear, exact topology of a model, you will get job. You don't need to texture it at all. You will get job. You don't need to do anything else. Because industry is in need of a professional who could do everything with a precise rotation. So that's what industry wants. So that's why I'm telling you why you have to deal with these softwares. Now look at Fusion. Fusion is from Autodesk again. It is from Autodesk again. And Fusion is famous for mechanical models. Look at that. For mechanical visualizations, it's better. It's something like if you do a model and you can animate it, so there's an animation. So when you just move the slide, all the parts will be disassembled and you can see the inner parts. And when you do that, when you put the animation back, all the disassembled parts will come back to the assembled state as a single object. So those kind of for presentations and all people use. So for product design, people use for product design and mechanical, electrical, electronics things. You can use Fusion. If it requires a precise measurement, then Fusion is good. So keep that in mind. Fusion is really good for mechanical, for not to create a robot or a perfect car with each nut, screw, and bolt, or should be as like in the real life. Then Fusion is the best choice then. Okay, so Autodesk Fusion is not only for us; it is prominently for mechanical engineers. If you want to create an Iron Man's gloves, mechanical gloves, or Iron Man's mechanical arm, where you want to have a precise measurements, then you should go for Fusion. Okay. So Maya is entertainment software where you can do things precisely, but not that conveniently. So Fusion is good for machines, machine modeling, or those kind of things. Do not forget that. And do not tell me that I would never tell you about this, and don't complain that Dinesh didn't thought of Fusion. Okay, I'll teach you this semester only Maya. And here comes Cinema 4D. So Cinema 4D is a famous software for motion graphics. Write that down. Please do take notes. Cinema 4D is famous for motion graphics. Okay. So when it comes to motion graphics, Cinema 4D is really good. What do you call this motion graphics? Which means you can browse in YouTube or anywhere, search for what is motion graphics. Motion graphics is really what do you say? This is something like instead of presenting or advertising through just images, okay, add animations to those images to make it more attractive. Okay, and motion graphics is not an easy task. You guys can do animation, you guys can do 3D things, but motion graphics is a combination of all. Browse in YouTube for motion graphics in Cinema 4D. Guys, you would be astonished that much of animation and the shader, the colors and quality you can get. If there's anything colorful 3D animation you see in anywhere, that must be done through Cinema 4D. Okay, because of the shader quality and the lighting and things. And Cinema 4D is also a 3D software from Maxon. Yes, Vignesh, it is from Maxon. It is the owner, the company name is Maxon, and the product name is Cinema 4D. And Cinema 4D is widely used for product designing, to design a camera, to design something, or to design a toon shape one, a 3D shape one, something like that. If anywhere you've seen a toon-based land, a poly-based land, or something like that, or low frame characters or something like that. That is a style that they follow in Cinema 4D. It is really famous for shaders, and colors are really good, cool. And effects I tried in Cinema 4D. Effects will be really awesome. Yeah, in order to know exactly why it is better, you have to learn 3D software first. Only then you will learn. Okay, that's why Dinesh by the time said Cinema 4D is best for effects and colors. Guys, and here comes software called Dash 3D. Why Dash 3D? Because if you want to pose a character, because if you're done with the modeling, you've done the 3D modeling, but after done with the 3D modeling, you want to pose the character like sitting on a bench or on a fighting pose or in romantic pose, whatever you would prefer. Okay, all those kind of poses, all there in 3D. You can use Dash Studio for different kind of poses. Yeah. And you can design however you want the character to be. If you want the shoulders to be broad, or shoulders to be small, or the hip to be broad, or the chest to be broad, or the nose to be bigger, or you want a different ethnic people or something, you can use Porsche for that. So, and let's go to the next there. We have World Creator is for landscape building, for terrain creation. Terrain. Terrain means land. Okay, so terrain or for landscape building, we can use this World Creator. This is really good when it comes to building a whole town or a whole city or a whole landscape. Okay, then you can use this like mountain or not for trees. For trees, we have other software also, but still, it helps you to create the entire landscape. Okay, to get you feel like a game level design. Okay, you could use that. So this is a world creator, and yeah, just look at this marvelous designer. They are recently they are much popular. Okay, they are recently much popular and they are used in many industries, used by many industries and feature films mostly. Marvelous designer is famous for designing cloths. Designing cloths. Look at the cloths here. Yeah, you can design easily through marvelous design. So all these cloths can be designed easily, and you could design easily. But look at the simulation here. These are all we call it as simulations, not animations, because so wherever he goes, the cloth has to follow him. To simply put, it is a follow-through animation. Okay, because the cloth follows the character. So when you move the character, you can see the cloth will be jiggling there here and there. Okay, this kind of cloth simulations could be done easily, achieved easily by using this marvelous designer. But why do you call this a simulation, not animation? See, animation is something which is done by humans. Okay, you define one point to another point. You define how it has to move or bend or stretch or squash. That is animation. Simulation is something simulation. Simulation is something that the machine does. Okay, it's not up to the user. The machine will calculate. The system will calculate, okay, how much velocity there it is, how much viscosity of the material it is, so what's the strength of that material. Based on that, the material will jiggle, or it may tear down, or it may fly. Okay, how much rigidity it is, based on that it will move. So there are certain physical parameters are there in Marvelous Designer, and believe me, all these options are also in Maya, but these softwares are much easy and comfort. So for the production people could able to create it faster. Okay, and it is prominently, since it is prominently made for cloths, there are more features which is not in Maya. Okay, so Marvelous Designer is for cloths and things. Okay, see guys, cloth is a simulation. Cloth is not texturing. Cloth is a simulation. Cloth is, when I say cloth, it is also a polygon. This is also made of millions polygons. This is also made of million polygons. So when you take the million polygons into marvelous design, it will treat this, it will convert this polygons into a real cloth. It will make this polygon to behave like a real cloth. Okay, that's why it is simulation. Yeah, texturing, I'll take you guys for this texturing, please. So yeah, this also made in marvelous design. Look at that. So yes, you can design how you want the textures to be. Okay, which part, each part, how you want it. You can design, and after the design, it will give the simulation. So when he shakes his head, the cloth will bend here, it will stretch here. When he runs, it will stretch here, or it may tear down, and it will become squashed here. Okay, and similarly when he walks, it will be squashed here, and it will be squashed the back of his knee. So there are such things like that. Wait. So students, that's all about the introduction of 3D softwares. And also we have many other softwares in the industry. But as of now, for the introduction, I think this would be fine. See, because before you know into the subject, before you get into the subject, you should know what is happening and why we have to choose this subject. So good day, students. We meet in the next class, and please to go through what we learned today. Thank you.